Rick Ross guy.
Manson was going to come in, but he wouldn't do it on camera. It was weird. Like, he wouldn't do it after. He wanted to do it.
I bet he'll do it
at a certain time of night. But it's like, here's the thing, man. Some of that shit is publicists. Because I'll tell you, the same thing happened with Liz Phair, who I'm a giant fan of.
100%.
I've been a fan of Liz Phair forever.
Me too. And Exile in Guyville was a fucking fantastic
I fucking
record.
love
I bought
her.
that record and Evil Empire at the same time at the record store in Nashville, Tennessee. The Rage Against the Machine and Exile in Guyville.
Oh, wow.
Totally. My wife, also Misty, who we went to dinner with, who was listening, she loved Liz Phair too at the time.
She came and we got high together. She's like, "You can get high here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have a boss."
Alex Jones got high as fuck on here.
That
was fucking awesome.
He's trying to come back on, and I just don't know if I could do it.
Oh, come on. Let him come on. They're fucking shutting him down.
They are shutting him down, but the problem is he's still on trial. This whole trial that's going on with Sandy Hook. All that shit has to be resolved first. But it doesn't make sense. Like, Bill Maher, respect to Bill Maher.
I love respect to him for saying he gets to speak too.
Yeah, he was on his show, and people were clapping and cheering that he was pulled off of these networks and pulled off of everything. He's like, look, this guy said crazy lies about me. This is what Bill Maher said. He said, the guy said crazy lies about me. He goes, but he still gets to talk. Like, this is what America's about. Free speech means all speech.
But see, like, here's what I don't understand. Like, Alex had me on many times, and he supported my record Black Ribbons when it came out.
Did he really?
Yeah,
You've been on the Alex Jones show many times?
I've been on it 3 times.
Were you ever sober?
Yeah, every time.
Really?
Every time.
Never been on a show sober.
It was never a situation. Well, the first time I was, we had the Black Ribbons record that I did that has Stephen King on it and stuff. Like, so when that record came out, nobody would support the record. So Alex
Stephen
Jones,
King's on your record?
Yeah, an older record from way
what
back.
What did he do? Like,
he plays a DJ, a radio talk show host that comes in and out of the record.
That's Stephen King?
Yeah, that's Stephen King. So, like, when I did that record, Alex Jones was the only person that would support the record. He debuted the whole record on his show, and then it was on for 2 hours by phone, and then I went in and was on his show in person about just the music business. That's all we were talking about, and like kind of how things were. And then later I was on for Bitcoin discussion, kind of by Skype or something. But I will say this in his defense in all of this, I just think that, like, dude, that guy has been saying things, conspiracy theories about all kinds of things. What do you want to call him that or not? But like forever. And like now the situation is like so volatile that like they're gonna, the Sandy Hook thing. All right, so like they definitely caught fucking Anderson Cooper having the green screen and talk. It's probably because they had another person there talking to the mom, and then
what happened? What is this?
There's a video of Anderson Cooper interviewing one of the moms from Sandy Hook, and he leans a little too far forward and his nose disappears, and it's probably because they had a stand-in reporter talking to the mom. And Anderson Cooper was then like put in via whatever green screen, and like
okay, I need to see
that
this.
It is there. I mean, I know this is we're propelling, but my point is like, and I'm not. I mean, Sandy Hook. I remember where I was when I heard about Sandy Hook, and it was horrific. And I don't believe for a second that there's like it's all fake or anything like that. But like Alex's thing has always been that. I remember watching him go to Bohemian Grove. When we did the fucking record, this is back when nobody was paying attention to him, just a certain small group. But I remember we did the Black Ribbons record, and we took a clip of the laughing. He snuck into Bohemian Grove and filmed the ceremony. And there's like a scene where they, or not a scene, I guess a scene in his film, but there's a part of that where they're doing the ceremony, and they have this it's like Disneyland when you go watch
Moloch the owl god.
Yeah, but it's like it's done in a way where it's like Disneyland when you watch like the fairies fly around the castle. Like there was a whole thing where there was like a laugh that happens at the end of the Moloch thing or whatever, or the big owl and the funeral pyre.
Guys dressed like druids.
Right. So like I used a part of that, but I remember watching that documentary, and he, his deal has always been so over the top where like you go, he's like, where are he like go to the local people near Bohemian Grove. He's like, we're looking for where the Satanists go to do their thing, and it's obviously at this point, it's not like people who are knowingly Satanists. It's like really old, fat, rich guys that go there. And there's probably hookers and all kinds of shit because that's what happens at big rich things.
Especially in the 90s.
I mean,
you
so
can get away with it.
You're right. And so like now with all this and they're crucifying him, especially the Megyn Kelly thing. And I just feel bad for him.
What do you mean, especially the Megyn Kelly thing?
Because that was clearly a hit piece with Alex because like she buddied up to him and then focused that piece on the Sandy Hook thing. You know, they had their talk.
Right, but in her defense, how could she not?
Of course.
If you're going to interview Alex Jones.
If I was going to come, but if I came here with the intention of like just talking to you and then all of a sudden you were like, hey, on this day, on this thing, when you did this thing, like you focused on this one thing, I would be like, oh man, like this is a hit piece. Like,
yeah, but you're a musician and this is what he does.
I know.
Alex is my friend. He's been my friend since 1999. I get more shit from being friends with Alex Jones than anything else in my life.
Because Alex Jones, you know what? I'm just saying, like, I'm sure I'll get hit for this, but the point is
check your Twitter.
I'm ready for it. You know what? I don't have time to check it. Maybe next year. But like, but the reality is I just think that, and I'm not even here from like the side of the political point of view. Is this it?
Let's watch this video. This is the video. It says HD quality, Anderson Cooper's disappearing nose, Greenstein clip debunked. Do you see that? Hold on. Do you see what it says? It says debunked.
Yeah, this
which
explains it happens.
I think they had another person there.
Hold on, let him talk.
There's like bad quality video right here. It'll play about 3 seconds in. There's a weird part on his nose that happens, but to say it's a green screen, I would disagree.
Well, the same people that are looking for conspiracies and everything, they used this to say that the space station didn't exist.
Right, but
hold on.
It's like right around right there.
Hold on.
And you can't even really see it. Something really happens to his nose super quick. That looks like it's just like a digital glitch.
That's it?
No, that's not it.
And this is what
that's not the piece.
Thing says. I couldn't find it anywhere.
You've
else.
seen the other piece?
Yeah, I mean, he leans forward his nose. Look, here's what I think. I think that they had a stand-in because he couldn't be there.
But hold on, you might be wrong, right?
I could be wrong.
We're talking about several years ago. You might have a fucked up memory of this. Let's try to find the video.
Well, this said he was there all week shooting from the exact same location.
Okay.
Maybe he was. Maybe I'm wrong. But I mean,
they got you. They got to you, Shooter Jennings.
They didn't get to me. The point is like I would say the same thing if I saw
when you make more than $100,000 a year, a dude knocks on your door and starts talking to you about conspiracy.
$100,000, no way. Yeah, right.
Well, if you're making $34,000 a year, you look at people that make $100,000, like, damn, I
Yeah.
can pay all my fucking bills. How do you get to that $100,000 level? Well, you got to sell out, son.
Yeah, but
that's how people look at it, man.
But there is a threshold. There is a threshold.
I remember when I was broke, I had a Suburban. I wasn't broke, but I was doing all right. But I had a Suburban, and some guy and I got into a fucking road rage situation on the highway. And he goes, "You fucking rich asshole." I go, "Rich?" I'm like, "I'm driving a fucking Suburban, man." Like, what is rich to you? Rich is driving a Suburban? Like, what the fuck, man?
I have that. Like, I already had the rich thing because people thought that I was rich because of my dad, which I never was. I mean, he was supportive of me, but once I got here, I was kind of on my own. And I like that. But then once I talk about Bitcoin with you, like fucking 5 years ago or whenever it was, I was here 3 years ago. And everybody's like, "Oh, you got to be rich now because that." I'm like, "I'm fucking not rich."
From Bitcoin?
Yeah, but I mean, look.
What's up Bitcoin up to? Like $7,000 now?
Yeah, it went up to 19 for a second.
Keeps going down.
It hadn't dropped very much below $6,000. But I mean, when I was here with you, it was like less than $1,000. But you know, what I'm trying to say about this is not like I'm not validating this Anderson Cooper thing, but that dude has always been fishing for things like that, and it's always been his gig. And it's been his gig from Columbine. It's been his gig from all of this. And I understand the passion and the emotion involved with the children that died in Sandy Hook. And I'm not defending him on that deal. But at the same time, that's always been this guy's gig.
I feel like that is where he legitimately fucked up.
I don't think
if you take away,
I got to defend him. I just got to say,
but
it's
hold
okay
on a
for him
second.
to fucking fuck up.
Yeah, but this is a silly fuck up. He's saying that for sure it was a fake.
But did he say for sure it's a fake?
Yeah, he did. People sent me the clip. They sent me the clip of him saying that it was 100% fake. He thought it was fake, so he said it. But
he thought it was fake.
Yeah, he thought it was a false flag, so he said it.
I mean,
but that's part of the that's a part of the conspiratorial thinking that's a real problem. It's like saying you know. He said some shit about me. He said some shit about me that's 100% not true. He said that
Pre or post your interview with him?
I don't remember. I think it was post. It was post. He said that the government threatened my family to stop talking about conspiracy theories. No, nobody threatened my family. No one, zero, never happened, did not happen. It is fake. It is a lie. Someone told it to him, I guess, or he says someone told it to him. It didn't happen. So that's me.
I understand.
But do you understand like how frustrating that is? This is a minor thing. Him lying, not lying. Okay, he says someone told him. I believe he's telling the truth. But it's not true. He could have fucking called me. He's got my number, man. Call me. So he didn't even bother calling me. Joe, I'm about to go live from Austin, Texas. I need to know, did someone threaten your family? Stop talking about the moon landing and Bigfoot.
Sturgill said you had that down.
Do you fucking imagine they're going to threaten you? You got to stop talking about Bigfoot, man. Like,
well,
I did a show. This is well documented. I've talked about it 100 times on the podcast. I did a show called Joe Rogan Questions Everything. And during that show, over a period of 6 months, I fucking questioned a lot of shit, legitimately. But I did it with researchers. We had a staff. We had producers. We went and we actually went to like these places where these people are claiming to see UFOs. We went to these places where people are claiming to be able to, what is that shit they do? Remote viewing.
Oh, yeah.
We talked to those guys.
Goats, great movie.
We talked to all these people, and I found a clear thread through all of it that I documented in my 2014 Comedy Central special, where I said, here's what you don't find when you go looking for Bigfoot. Black people. What you do find is unfuckable white dudes. You are more likely to find Bigfoot than you are black people out looking for Bigfoot.
Also, alien abductions probably could be
It's dudes who can't get laid, and they go looking for hidden mysteries. I mean, this is a real big part of it.
I know.
My point is, from doing that show, it soured me off conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories were fun for me. And and especially Eddie Bravo, would get high and we'd watch documentaries on flying rods and all these UFO documentaries and all the fucking Zachariah Sitchin shit.
I love it. I love that stuff.
I love that stuff. But here's the thing.
My dad and I used to watch Chariots of the Gods all the time together.
It all falls apart under scrutiny. All of it does. All of it does. It's fun, but it falls apart if you're being a serious person and if you're really being honest about what you actually know. This is the problem. It's like the same in the parallels, like comparing to Alex Jones saying that my family was threatened is the same thing. My family was never threatened. No one ever threatened me. But he's saying this on the radio. Why is he saying it? Because someone told him, and maybe he believes it, and he also thinks it's fun to say. It's the thing to say if you're really into conspiracies. But this is the problem with these fucking conspiracies. They say things they don't know are true, and they say them like they're true. Now, this is fine if you just talk.
Why is that an issue?
It's fine if it's not an issue if you're talking about the Illuminati. If you're talking about your kid getting shot,
right.
If your kid's dead, and someone says, "Hey, man, this fucking
happen.
Tom Smith on the radio saying you're full of shit, you're a crisis actor, and your kid's not dead." I mean, you're crying every night. You wake up in the middle of the night crying because some fucking guy on pill. But you are a little bit.
No, I'm just defending his right to be Alex Jones.
Yes,
that's all I'm defending.
And I defend that as well.
And I
I'm
defend
with Bill
David
Maher
Allen Coe for being David Allen Coe. One time
what did David Allen Coe do?
Well, I played a show with David Allen Coe. This is not any, like, let's get Sandy Hook out of this because I'm not trying to talk about this like this.
But I'm
defending the right of people to be who they are. And I love David Allen Coe's music and all that. But I played a show with David Allen Coe one time. And my dad always would tell me these things about him. You know, he liked David and everything, but there was always kind of a little distance of, like, there was a showmanship part of him. And there, like, a good example of this, again, distancing from Sandy Hook, but a good part of it was that when David Allen Coe, we did a show with him one time. My mom was over on the side of the stage with me. I was opening for him. This is many years ago before I even had a first record out or anything. And David Allen Coe did we did our set, and then he played, and he was on stage, and he performed a song my mom wrote called Storms Never Last. So my mom's over on the side of the stage, and we're talking, me and my mom, and we're watching it, and he's singing it with his wife and stuff. The next night, I'm opening up for him, and he goes on stage, and he goes, "Last night, Jessie Coulter was right in the front row when I sang this song with my wife, and she was crying. And like, I'm sitting there going, I was here, and she was not crying. She was standing
Jessie
next
Coulter,
to me. She was
your
not on the
mom.
front row. Right. My mom, Jessie Coulter, wrote this song, Storms Never Last, he sang. And that's his character. That's who he is. All I'm saying here with, like, I'm as forgiving about him lying to the audience because that is what he's doing at the moment. It's his. I could sit there and go, you know what? You're lying. I'm going to take you in the back. We're going to talk. I'm going to tell this audience tomorrow night he's a liar. He's a piece of shit. Fuck him. I'm not going to do that because it's David Allan Coe. He's
But
doing
you
his
just
thing.
did it on the show, which is a
I'm not.
much larger audience.
Oh, right.
This is
right.
hitting
but I'm
millions
not calling
and millions
him a
of
piece of shit. I'm just saying I could do
you're in
that.
character.
But why would I do that
Right.
to him? Because it's like, you know, and
part
so
of his shtick.
I just feel like, look, man, the times that I met Alex, the times I've been around him, yeah, man, his gig is this.
Mm-hmm.
And he got called out for a specific thing. Yes, it involved the lives of children and everything like that. I understand that. I'm not at all sympathizing for those family or for him versus those families. But I'm just saying, I just think that like at the moment everything is so hot with this and it's kind of exhausting and it's the internet is the reason for it in my opinion, because I think that like all the years that have come along, the mass amount of people that have migrated to social media, the way that the integrated conversations happen, the way that stuff ends up on the news now, like AOL chat rooms in fucking 1998, that shit did not end up on CNN. People were not listening to those things. The best you could
Thank
get,
God.
the closest you could get to fucking TV was To Catch a Predator when you were on that
Right.
at that time, you know. And I feel like at this point in time, people need, again, not those families, their lawsuit. That's fine. That's their thing. But I just feel like people need to lighten up a little bit in the sense of I just think that the social media thing is very hazardous, and I think that people's faith in all of it. It doesn't have to do with fake news, and it doesn't have to do with Russian bots and all this shit. I just think that like Alex Jones is a casualty because he's always been that
What do you
guy.
mean